You mentioned business intelligence. Can you talk a little bit about how that impacts your business?
Sure. So I think we've learned quite a bit about business intelligence. It's about an $11 billion a year business, and it really grew as a platform. So Cognos and IBM and what's happened, SAS, SAP, Oracle, those are the main players in that space. And it's a traditional way, basically taking your own customer data and making better use of it, really extracting insights so you can optimize your business. So these platforms have allowed you to run analytics on your own data. Well, we're an analytics company as well, and the amount of data that we're getting has grown massively in the same way that internal data has grown. So although we're analyzing public data as opposed to your own private sales data, there's some very similar things happening. And so the way that grew as a platform and delivered an integrated set of analytics applications across an enterprise, that's what's similarly going to happen in social intelligence. So right now we're at the phase where we need to very cleanly solve business problems for business people. Marketing people aren't going to go in and create their own applications right now. They need something that solves their problems directly. However, as this continues to grow, as this data set is taken more seriously, companies want to own the data, they want to invest in it, they want to integrate it in their business more tightly. So our goal as a company, because we're so good at scalable analytics and making it easy to absorb and use, we're opening up our platform. And that's in the early stages where companies are starting to want to own the data, invest in the platform, and use it in their own ways, while we're still building applications that solve the problems that we see that are the big ones, media buying and marketing being the biggest problem we see that needs solved.
So it might be possible at some point for you to take set-top box data and match it to your online social media data to come up with actual viewership behaviors.
Absolutely. NBC and all the networks have been trying this for years to pull in all the information from so many different sources, not just Nielsen data, and create a single way of measuring how valuable viewers are with such a fractionalized viewer. So social media data is an extremely important component of that. Our goal is to make our data very easy to absorb. So in the initial stages, our goal is to really let you take our data and integrate it in your models. Longer term, I could see us pulling in other sources of content as well. We do have a partner in the television space called Q-Scores. They're a traditional research firm. We've been working with them for a few years now. And we found some very compelling correlations with our data, predictivity between our data and theirs. And also we found that when you're doing very well by our standards and theirs, that will parlay into strong Nielsen, but also other things. So this is relevant in not just TV, but in almost every area. So it's important to take this as a significant data set and integrate it with other data sets.
How are you preparing for the proliferation of connected televisions, connected TV?
I think that's going to enhance the amount of data that we have. Simply, it's going to make TV more interactive. It's a risk, I think, to the Nielsen model, but in terms of having some kind of qualitative sense, or how connected are people to the show, how suitable is that audience for the show, it's going to open up a new wave of data for us to just have an increasing size sample. So, if you're not on Twitter, you're not on Facebook, you're not blogging, we don't really know what you think about the show. But this will draw more people in and provide us with more information. So it's a very interesting time. It's been a promise we've been hearing about for many years now, and I'd like to see it happen.
And how do you see your business, your side of the business, impacting the TV buying and selling model?
Well, we think TV is a prime place for this kind of analytics because right now it's one of the least analytical ways you can measure the effectiveness of an ad. It's a one-way broadcast, and you just don't know who these people are, compared to search advertising on Google or any kind of web-based analytics and other kinds of analytics. So you have a much better sense of the return on your investment than you do on TV. So this is a prime place where thousands of people are being used to measure thousands of networks. It doesn't really work. The samples are simply too small, and the methods are biased. So our method brings in a much, much larger sample and allows us to have a much better sense of who these people are, not just what are they saying. So that's why we think that the massive sample is one part of the reason the Nielsen model is flawed, but TV and just the way it's changed, the way media consumption has changed over the last several decades compared to how analytics in the TV space has changed, it's time for a change, and that's why we address that market.
What has the reaction been from the different parts of the industry to the product that you're offering?
I think there's been interest all around. Every network has looked at our kind of product, every agency, and most advertisers. I think there hasn't been full spread adoption of using the data for decisions. That's the main thing. People are using it as a complement, which is fine. That's the way it should start. But now it's going to become a more primary component of the decision-making process. That's what's going to happen over the next few years.